Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Ronnie Woo and this is The Delicious Cook. Today we're making a savory breakfast parfait. It's going to have layers of creamy polenta, homemade pork sausage, scrambled eggs, shredded cheese, and it's going to be finished off with a piece of crispy bacon. This makes for a great way to start your day, but hey, who says you can't have this for lunch or dinner as well? You guys are going to love this, so stay tuned. So the first thing we want to do is preheat our oven at 350 degrees. So the reason that I'm preheating my oven at 350 degrees is because we're going to bake our bacon. I love baking bacon because it's easy and it's a clean way to make bacon. And besides, we're going to be using our stove to make other things. So we're just going to set it and forget it, and when we're done making the things on the stove, we're going to have nice crispy bacon. So all I want to do is line a small pan with some aluminum foil. Then I'm just going to lay out a couple pieces of bacon. Alright, I'm going to stick this in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until the bacon is nice and crispy, and in the meantime we're going to finish up the rest of our savory breakfast parfait. So the next thing we want to do is make our homemade pork sausage. So what I have here is about a pound of ground pork. Next I'm going to very finely mince up 2 to 3 cloves of fresh garlic and add this to the pork. Along with a 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried celery seed, a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. And lastly, we're going to add 1 rounded teaspoon of brown sugar. Then we're just going to take our hands and give the pork and the spices a nice good mix until everything is thoroughly combined. Alright, so we have our homemade pork sausage. The last thing we want to do is crack our eggs. I want about 6 eggs, and all I'm going to do is crack them into a bowl and give them a nice quick whisk with a fork. Alright, let's head back to the stove and cook these guys up. So to be efficient, we're going to be cooking the polenta and the sausage simultaneously. In a small pot, we want to bring 2 cups of cold water to a boil. In the meantime, we want to heat up a couple tablespoons of canola oil in a large nonstick pan over medium to high heat. When the oil begins to give off just a hint of steam, we want to add the homemade sausage mixture, making sure to break it up into small chunks. You want to cook this for about 5 to 10 minutes until all the liquid has evaporated. Then you want to continue to cook the sausage for another 10 to 15 minutes until the sausage has developed a deep brown color, remembering to continue to break it up into even smaller chunks as it cooks. By now the water should be boiling, and to it we're going to stir in half a cup of dry polenta and then reduce the heat to a simmer. Then we want to cook this for about 15 to 25 minutes until you reach your preferred consistency. So while your polenta and sausage are cooking, you want to be aware of 2 things. First, you don't want your sausage to burn, so be sure to control the heat for your sausage and occasionally give it a stir. Second, you don't want your polenta to dry out, so when your polenta appears to be absorbing more of the water, this would be a good time to add 3 tablespoons of half and half. Then you just want to give that a quick stir and let it continue to cook. About 5 minutes before the polenta is finished, add 2 tablespoons of butter and stir until all the butter has melted into the polenta. Your sausage should finish cooking before your polenta does, and that leaves you with plenty of time to scramble your eggs. So transfer your sausage to a dish and set aside, and in the same pan that you cooked your sausage in, heat up a couple more tablespoons of canola oil over low to medium heat. When your oil is hot, add your 6 eggs. Now you want to stir continuously over low heat until just before the eggs reach your desired consistency. Be careful not to overcook your eggs, as carryover cooking will finish cooking your eggs once you take them off the heat. Alright, everything is done. All we have to do is shred some cheese and chop up our chives. Alright, let's put everything together and give it a taste test. Today I'm going to use clear mason jars, but you can basically use anything you like. I just like using clear containers because it really shows off those beautiful layers. We're going to add some nice creamy polenta, some of that delicious sausage, some of our scrambled eggs. We're going to add some of that shredded Colby Jack cheese, add a piece of crispy bacon, top it off with some chives, And we are good to go. Let's give this guy a taste test. The Savory Breakfast Parfait is delicious. Whether you make it for yourself, your honey, or a bunch of friends, they're going to be impressed and satisfied. You guys are going to love this recipe. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email me. I'm Ronnie Woo, and I'll see you guys next time on The Delicious Cook.